Branda Lin.
Good afternoon, Great Park Board. My name is Branda Lin. I've been an Irvine resident since birth. I'd like to first talk about Agenda Item 1.5, the FIFA World Cup Training Site Agreement. I'd like to ask that this be removed from the consent calendar. Just having quickly breezed through the over 300 pages, I didn't go through all of it, but seeing that there are costs associated with actually becoming the host for World Cup 2026 regarding lighting and the privacy fencing for the soccer fields. I didn't see a breakdown of cost. It could have just been missed on my part, but I think that's something to take into consideration. And also the long-term benefits for these upgrades to the fields. Would we as a community be able to utilize these upgrades, and would the cost be worth it for our community? Those were just some initial questions I had. Also, it mentioned, I believe in the FIFA agreement, that the accommodations in the hotels would need to be within 20 minutes from the fields. And would that be 5 Point X? I know that was approved, and there are long-term extended stay hotels right in the Great Park that are planned, or would that be the hotels in the IBC? But those details were not specified either. And ultimately, I think, just having seen over the years Olympic stadiums or these venues that are built for one-time use, in the long run, a lot of times they become dilapidated, and the costs, they become money pits that require a lot of upkeeping. Not to say that our soccer fields wouldn't be utilized, because I know they're in high demand and they're used a lot currently, but I think it's just something to consider, and those are my initial thoughts on 1.5. Regarding agenda item 2.2, the amphitheater, we heard a lot of great reasons to support Live Nation and the permanent location of an amphitheater. I wanted to just kind of present the resident side. I think the residents should be involved, especially those who live in the Great Park neighborhoods, in terms of finding a location. In the staff report, I didn't see a location determined. It looks like it's still being there's still a search of where to place the permanent amphitheater. And I think, going forward, it would be great to involve the community in that process, especially because there have been noise complaints over the summer during the concerts season. And I think having a permanent amphitheater in the middle of neighborhoods would require more sound mitigation efforts than perhaps the minimum requirements as usual. So I think that's something the residents would be interested in. So I think providing that information, involving the community, soliciting information would be a great way to move forward in finding not only the permanent location for the amphitheater, but also just in terms of sound mitigation, because that was, I think, perhaps one of the main concerns regarding the temporary amphitheater location. And then I would like to address agenda item 2.1. The Great Park Development Report. I know I've spoken on this in the past months. The last time we received a comprehensive report on many development projects was, I believe, in September 2021. And this month's report is only 2 pages and only covers the visitor center, Livefox demolition project, and the EV charging stations. I'm hoping now that the agendas will be published 7 days versus the 12 days. Hopefully that'll give staff more time to kind of create a more comprehensive report for the public. And there are some simple solutions to increasing transparency that I'd like to present, which I have mentioned before. One would be listing all the projects that were ever proposed and providing a status update on the city's website. Another would be to have our public-private partner show up to the Great Park Board meetings again. I think I did see Patrick Strader here, and I don't know if he's here to address some of these developments, but that'd be great. It's great to see him here, and I think it'd be great to have him continue to be here for the Great Park Board meetings again. And another would be to change the meeting date and the time, perhaps closer to the evening, so that we can allow more members of the public to attend and participate in these meetings, and perhaps have it on a different day. I did see the decision for the FIFA agreement, and I think one other, on the consent calendar for the City Council meeting. So whatever the Great Park Board decides on those items automatically approved on the consent calendar just at 4 o'clock today. And it just doesn't allow the public an opportunity to weigh in, to kind of go over what the Great Park Board decided, so I think it'd be beneficial for the public. Oh, and I did want to mention, I wanted to thank the city Someone mentioned to me that this meeting is actually being live streamed on YouTube, I believe, and I don't know if that was a decision made, but that's something that Irvine Watchdog has asked, and I think that promotes more resident engagement. And I just wanted to thank you all for that. I guess it's happening now. And there was a list of items that we haven't heard updates on. I just created a list in alpha order. One was the American Museum of Natural History. And if I recall correctly, under City Manager John Russo, there were efforts underway to have the museum located in Irvine. I believe the city met with leaders with the museum. We haven't received any updates. There was an art museum, a BMX pump track, the California Fire Museum, Culture and Trade Center, Equestrian Center, Flying Leatherback Museum, Korean Gardens, a library, Museum of Heritage and Aviation, a Native American Museum, Rhino Rugby, Surf Park, Top Golf, USA Swimming, Whitewater Rafting, and Wildfire Gymnastics. And I believe also some members of this board did attend a meeting out in North Carolina to meet with Whitewater representatives. And again, we haven't received any updates on that. So I think, easy way to increase transparency, add all these projects. I believe one of the commenters already discussed,
Thank you, Ms. Lin. Your time is up now.
Okay, thank you very much for your